Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? What's up, guys? There's there's I don't know about you guys, but like watching well, videos that have to deal with like the police or judge hearings and all that type of stuff. But let's take a look at this one right now by from a judge called what's his name? Excuse me. Um Judge Judge Fletcher. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, we'll just check it out. It's also from my state as well.
Your last name, sir? Wyckoff?
What's going on here?
Mr. Wyckoff, you're charged with assault and bodily injury. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine.
Oof.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Second, please before Deputy arrives at McDonald's parking lot at 13532 Beechnut Street in Harris County, Texas, where he made contact with the defendant and a complainant who were near their vehicles. The complainant and the defendant do not know each other. The complainant stated that when he was driving on the public roadway, he accidentally backed his vehicle into the defendant's front bumper. The complainant
Accidentally backed into his vehicle. Okay, so I get what the gist is going, what the situation's going on.
believed that he did not strike the defendant's vehicle at the time of the impact and drove away onto the cross street. The defendant began to follow him. The complainant parked his vehicle in the McDonald's parking lot and observed the defendant's vehicle stop behind his car. The defendant approached the driver's door of the complainant's vehicle. The complainant opened his driver door and asked the defendant, "Hey bro, are we good?"
What?
The defendant became verbally aggressive towards the complainant, yelling at him and telling him that he hit his car. The complainant remained sitting down in his driver's
That's
seat.
crazy.
The defendant was so close to the complainant that the complainant could not walk out of the vehicle. The defendant with his left fist struck the complainant on the right side of his face, causing pain. Defendant repeatedly told the complainant to get out of the car.
So they basically got into an altercation then. I'm getting that correct.
The complainant remained in the vehicle while the defendant continued to yell at him, standing outside of the driver's side of the vehicle. The complainant had a purple discoloration mark with red swelling on his right cheek, consistent with that of a physical assault. The white area of the complainant's right eye was pink compared to his left eye. A vehicle inventory of the defendant's vehicle revealed a clear plastic bag containing two separate clear plastic bags of marijuana, total weight 83 grams.
Oh, no way. He had drugs on him. Okay, so he was found with marijuana, backed into the guy's car, assault.
2.9 ounces.
Mr. Wyckoff, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm going to tell you that all you really have.
Okay, probable cause is reasonable by basis for believing that a crime may have been committed, or that the evidence of a crime is present. Okay,
Have to do
of course.
was call the cops when that dude took
Let everybody
off,
know.
and then they probably would have had that dude arrested. But now, because you took matters into your own hands,
Ooh,
you
yeah,
are
exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Cause yeah, since he, yeah, tried to freaking resolve it on his own with his own fists and whatnot. Now, yeah, that's why he's here now.
and I are not going to have a good time. I am now sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, and you must come right back to court. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes, sir.
You run his license, please.
Ooh, okay, so they're gonna test him right on the spot and whatnot. So that's what's gonna happen. Oh, I'm gonna be. Oh, you gotta be.
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
I want proof before you leave here today to see whether I'm going to allow you to drive or not. Number one. Number two, as a condition of your bond, you are not allowed to use dope or any kind of dope whatsoever or alcohol. If I find that you're using anything, I'm going to put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond sky high. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This license is eligible, Judge.
Thank you. I'm ordering you all.
And also, I've been kind of like hearing that this judge is kind of be getting popular because he's like a no nonsense type of dude and whatnot. Exactly what we need in court systems, because freaking court systems suck, honestly.
Also, as a condition of your bond, not to be in possession of any weapons and not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case.
Yeah.
Rachel, I'd like to send him down right now for a drug test. I'm going to have you sign a reset, and then I'm going to hand you off to take a drug test, and then you must come right back. Do you understand? Okay.
Right this one. Judge,
Two.
we have another one. Right this one.
Got it.
Ms. Villarreal, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Villarreal. How's jail?
How's
You
jail?
now know.
Wow. Yep. Okay. How was jail? He asked her how was jail. Can you believe that crap? I mean, whatever she did. Well, they're about to explain it. I know, but what exactly is gonna damn it, I'm at a loss for words. Let's just get with the video.
That when you go to jail, you have no one that's going to bond you out.
Mm-hmm.
You will be stuck like Chuck until these cases are over with, as you now see. So when you're out there in the free world, these are the things that you must consider next time you get upset, you want to assault, you want to start trespassing, you want to do something that you know that you probably shouldn't do. You're now stand charged with two cases. You stand charged with assault of a family member. You're also charged with criminal trespass. As part of the plea bargain agreement, you are pleading guilty to not pleading guilty, but you are entering into what's called a deferred adjudication, which is a type of probation that if you successfully complete, you do not end up with a conviction on your record on the assault.
Okay.
And as part of the plea bargain, they're going to dismiss the criminal trespass case against you.
Okay.
I want you to understand that even if you're doing this deferred, there is an affirmative finding of family violence.
Uh-huh.
What that means is that if you ever pick up another one of these cases, regardless of whether you complete this or not,
Right.
you will be charged with a third-degree felony. You will be looking at a
Yeah.
minimum of 2 years in prison,
Ooh.
a maximum of 10 years in prison. All you got to do is grab someone's arm and gently squeeze to where it hurts, and that's enough to where you're looking at up to 10 years in prison. You can also never own a gun or ammunition as a result of this plea bargain. Do you understand? You are giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers, right to be arraigned, charged right to an open court. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. For you to successfully complete this thing, you will be required to do a batterers intervention prevention program. This is a program that you must go once a week for 18 weeks in person. And if you successfully complete, then you're basically done with this case. You must do what's called a TRAS. She had done a TRAS already while she was in there. That's an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. You must fulfill any other conditions they assess.
Mhm.
Substance abuse treatment, no drugs, no alcohol, no threatening, harassing, or abusive contact with Rafael Guzman.
Ooh.
Who is that?
Boyfriend?
That's our father's,
The-
that's our
the-
baby's father, Your Honor.
My ex-boyfriend.
Baby daddy.
Do you get along with this person or no?
And
So perhaps we should just do no contact then.
No contact.
Or I don't know. I mean, who's got custody of the child? Let's just do no threatening or harassing because
Yes,
I mean
I
that's
think
what they had done. If you violate this agreement by testing positive, picking up a new case, not showing up, not doing your anger management class, I'm telling you now, you will be doing a substantial amount of time in jail. And I'm going to tell you now, if you like that kid and if you want that kid to be in your life, this is the wrong way to do it. What do you think, Mr.
When it comes to domestic violence, the conversation typically focuses on the women as that's true. As women as the victim and the men as a perpetrator. After all, women make up at least 85% of all victims, and most often at hand of most hands of male abusers. But this doesn't mean that abusive female partners don't exist. They do, and men can be victims of domestic violence. Yes, they. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And actually, I think the number has been the golf pulse has been like switching and whatnot, and where men are starting to become, yeah, like the being the victims, freaking crazy, man. Especially with the way well, how the political climate kind of is. Okay, you know how it is. Not gonna get into that. Not gonna get into that discussion, but just saying,
Guzman is going to do?
lock
He's
you
going
up.
to track that. He's going to try to take that kid away from you. And this is what he's going to use as evidence
Yep.
and the trespass that
Oh,
you
yeah.
are out of control.
Yep.
So if you like that kid and if you want that kid, straighten up and fly right. Because if not, you're going to be sitting with me for an entire year. Do you understand? I will make you a deal. If you do well, you complete that BIP class successfully,
Uh-huh.
I'll take you off when you get done with that class.
Nice.
Don't test positive for dope or alcohol. Be nice to everybody. It's not hard. Once you get done with that class, and if you're good, I'll take you off
Thank you so much.
as an incentive to get it done quick.
Mhm.
All right? How do you plead to the offense, ma'am? I will not find you guilty. I will withhold it for 13 months. Get it done, and then you don't end up with a conviction on your record. All right?
Right.
Good luck, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. D.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, yeah.
Jail. Ready?
Straight. By straight people.
There's someone that's trying to get in that says court observer.
What's
What do you
next?
think?
Do it.
Court observer.
We got bombed last night, yesterday.
Got what?
We got bombed on the
Oh,
live stream yesterday, so
oh,
I'm now
wow.
very wary of letting anyone in.
Wow.
Mr. McCollum, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. How old are you?
26.
26.
26, and you now have two DWIs.
Ooh.
What happens on the next one?
Okay, hold up. Young adults the age of 21 to 24 have the highest DUI fatality rates. People between 25 to 34 years old have recorded the highest number of fatal accidents involving intoxicated drivers.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's I can kind of vouch for this because as a resident as a Texan and whatnot, and I also do partake in the occasional vice and whatnot, drink and whatnot. But of course, there'll be some individuals who don't take responsibility and whatnot, don't drink responsibly. I mean, and well, things happen, and especially that last year, a new law had passed involving that if let me see if I get this right. If for example, like what's happening here, like with the DUI or anything like that, if you cause an accident and the person is becomes deceased, you are basically gonna now be liable for to pay out of your pocket. In other words, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Crap. Uh, But take it with a grain of salt though, because I don't know exactly the main details of it and whatnot. I think I'm pretty much just like almost kind of watering it down a bit.
You need to know what happens on the next one.
Bad news, yeah.
No, not bad news. What happens?
Jail, prison.
Felony.
I'm going to tell you now that you now have 2 DWIs going on your record. If you were ever pulled over and you have the slightest smell of alcohol on your breath, any officer that pulls you over is going to say, well, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, meaning if it's got DWI one and it's got another DWI, it's probably DWI.
A third DWI is always a minimum of a third-degree felony charge, and yeah, that's here in Texas, that's how it is, and because of because our state has that's because the state has no long back period. It won't matter how long ago. Yeah, exactly. That's if it happened before, and no matter how much time passes, you'll be if you were convicted, it pretty much goes downhill from there. So just like it says in the text here, it won't matter how long ago you received your first or second DWI. The third one will cost you as a will count. Third will count. Your third DWI. Your third DWI will count as a third, even if you were convicted from the second one 50 years ago or whatever. In other words, it's not going to get erased or anything.
Guy again and is able to withhold his tolerance. They're going to arrest you. No questions asked. They're not going to give a rat's behind whether you're drunk or not. The smell alone will be enough to take them down.
Yep.
And now you will be looking at up to 10 years in prison.
Yeah.
Up to 10 years in prison. That's what you're going to be facing.
Yeah.
I hope you really appreciate the gravity, because do you know what they would do to you in prison, Mr. McCollum? A little white boy stick piece. You know what they would do to you?
Oh my God, he totally went there. Wow. Holy crap. Yeah, he totally went there. Wow. No BS. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
You in prison? Holy moly. I've read stuff that was so bad it had me in freaking tears. How they just pass people along like it's a freaking rag doll.
Yeah.
And you know what? The jailers don't give a rat's behind what happens in there.
Yeah.
Some places are so bad they don't even go there. And I promise you, because I'm a judge, I get to read extra stuff that you're never going to get your eyes on. And it literally had me in tears, how they treat people.
Yep.
So
Basically throwing you to the wolves, man. If you don't know, you'll be in a rude awakening.
you're one step away. And I hope that you appreciate that. All you have to do is pick up a phone, hit one button. You'll have a car for $20, take you anywhere you want to go in this freaking city. Don't matter where you want to go. It's always $20. How much money have you spent on all this?
Uber.
Yeah, and now it's going to cost you more because you will be required to pay for the DPS fines and fees and surcharges. And if you don't, I'm going to put your butt in jail. And every $100 you owe, you will sit in custody. You're now going to be required to pay somewhere to the tune of around $6,500 to $7,000.
Damn, dude, freaking 65. Oh, wow, dude, that's freaking insane.
So you can imagine how much time you will sit in jail if you don't pay it.
Yep.
Do you understand? Because I am trying to impress on you
Right.
how dangerous this type of offense is and how very important you must take this in the future so you don't end up in prison. What are we doing, jail?
They reduced it to a Class B misdemeanor, DWI first, interlock, 18 months probation, and TRAS, all the conditions that go with the TRAS.
Sign the affidavit.
180 days in jail to be probated for 18 months. As part of the probation, you will do a repeat offender
Repeat offender.
DWI education class,
Mhm.
2 victim impact panels, a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. You must fulfill those conditions. If they tell you that you need to do inpatient treatment, well, that's where you're going to go.
Yep.
If they tell you that you have to do intensive outpatient or SOP, then you must do those as well. If you don't, then guess what happens?
Jail.
I will issue a warrant for your arrest, and then you will be looking at 180 days in jail. And I myself, if I find that you're consuming alcohol while you're on this probation, I will put you into treatment myself. And I'm going to tell you, it lasts for 180 days if you respond to treatment well. If not, you can be in there for a year and a half. Do you understand? I just put someone in yesterday, and they're going to be in there for a solid 6 to 9 months, maybe a year and a half.
Mm.
You understand? No drugs,
No alcohol.
alcohol,
Not on the-
random urinalysis, guardian interlock, no breath test refusal, meaning that if you take a breath, if you're driving in a car
Yeah.
and an officer asks you to submit to a breath test, you must submit to a breath test. If you don't, you're in violation of this agreement.
Yep.
Do you understand? You were giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers, right to be arraigned, charged read in open court. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, there's no turning back. You now at 26 have 2 DWIs on your record. Do you understand? How do you plead to this offense?
Bro.
I will find you guilty. I am going to suspend your license for 1 year. JL, what happened on the,
We won.
okay. You guys can apply for an occupational license. I want to know that he's doing well, and I don't think that we've had any violations so far, correct?
No, sir. And Judge, just to be clear, so when we get the occupational license, and Dustin King will be doing that part, and he has to go get the interlock on his vehicle. He's going to have someone else to drive the
Correct.
vehicle to the facility to get the interlock, because you cannot drive without an interlock.
As of
period.
this moment, you may not drive. Your license is suspended. If I catch you in a car driving, and we're going to have you sign an affidavit promising us you're not going to drive before you leave here. If you drive, you will be doing a substantial amount of time in jail. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care if there's a burning building and you have to save 15 kids. Mother Teresa needs a ride to church. I don't care. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, JL, if he does well, and he's been doing well so far, that's good news. So we want to know
Right.
that you appreciate the gravity of this offense going forward. The idea is that you have such a miserable experience here that you remember us
Again.
15 years down the road, 20 years down the road, you have some kind of catastrophic event in your life that causes you to go out, you get blitzed. You know what? I better not get in this car and go home.
Yeah.
That was such a miserable experience. Huh? Yeah, he's gonna have to pay.
Do it, bro.
Friggin' what are court costs now? Was it a breath test or was it a blood test?
He volunteered breath, it's a 0.145.
Okay, so 6,000 and then plus court costs.
Even though it was reduced.
Yes, yeah. I will give you time to pay it. Okay, I will give you, 2 years, so it's not going to break your bank, right? Because I understand, but I want you to understand that you're not going to get out of this scot-free. And I want you to appreciate this. You understand?
It's just surcharges apply even though it's not time served.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Or
I really had a broken neck,
A broken neck.
fractured vertebrae. I believe she doesn't have any feeling in her right hand.
Ms. Hill, is that a result of this accident here?
Yes, sir.
Ay, ay, ay. Hi, Mom. Thank you so much for coming.
Jesus.
So she's charged, you are charged, man, with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. It looks like you had court on the 3rd of this month. No one appeared. And so we issued the warrant. So right now, your case is in warrant status. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you then. Okay, please.
Your Honor. On August 11, 2024, officers were dispatched to a crash call in Houston, Texas. They spoke with the witness, who advised that he arrived on scene soon after it happened. And then he observed defendant in the driver's seat of her vehicle, and he observed her vehicle crash into another vehicle in the middle of the roadway. Defendant's vehicle had heavy front damage and was facing oncoming traffic. The complainant's vehicle also had heavy front end damage. Officers spoke with the defendant, who stated she was driving at the time of the crash. The car was registered to the defendant. The defendant appeared disoriented, had swaying, staggering, and had slurred speech and a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage. Standard fields of writing tests were administered, and HGN had 6 out of 6 clues. Walk and turn and one leg stand were not completed due to injuries to defendant's legs. Defendant was taken to Ben Taub ICU. A blood warrant was drafted and blood was taken.
You don't have the results of the blood, do you?
Check, Your Honor.
Do we have a strong odor of alcohol? Do we have,
There's station mild odor of alcohol.
okay, because I was wondering how.
Yes,
Okay.
and there's no blood results.
Again, I'm assuming they didn't do a DRE. So we know whether it's pills, whether it's
No, Your Honor.
marijuana. I mean,
Nothing.
Not that I know of, Judge. I don't believe so.
Wow.
Ms. Hill, if I drug test you now, what's going to show up?
Because I think she'll be fine.
My concern is if you're taking pills,
Right.
right? That's my concern, is that if you're driving in a car, you're taking pills, you're about to fall asleep and you end up wrecking.
Oh, okay.
And
Downer.
She said she will have no problem taking a drug test for that, Judge.
yeah, I mean, my concern is this, is that it looks like you're injured pretty bad, right? And they're going to give you a lot of dope to help kill the pain. And that's always when it starts. And then it becomes a very, very slippery slope, because once you got that monkey on your back, meaning pain pills, it is very, very difficult to shed. I mean, in some people, it's almost impossible, and they become lifelong addicts, and they're in and out of the poking. That's what I'm trying to prevent with you. So I am ordering you now not to use any alcohol or any dope whatsoever. If I find that you're using, I'm going to put you in jail. You're going to be healing on your own in custody. Do you understand? When I mean no dope, I mean no dope from any sources whatsoever, no self-medicating. I'm telling you, I'm going to drug test you like crazy, and I want to know that you're not using. Do you understand me, man?
Random drug
Yes,
test.
sir.
Do you have a Texas driver license, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
No, sir.
Then you're not allowed to drive.
Mm.
No driving whatsoever until I see that you have liability insurance with your name on it and you get court approval from us. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me that you're not going to drive.
Yep.
Do you understand?
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
I will reinstate your bond now, meaning that I'm going to take the warrant away. This is the only time I'm going to do it. If you miss court again,
It was at ACI OC. We issued a warrant, there was no bond against it.
okay, so we'll have to set our bond now. No, well, I guess we set the bond at 2501. I'll just keep it at that amount, but we'll give her a PR bond. So I'm going to give you a PR bond today, Ms. Hill. This is the only one that you're going to get. You pick up another DWI, you start violating conditions. Serious as a heart attack, into jail you will go. Do you understand? Mom, should we be concerned? Is she okay? You know her better than anyone else. All I'm trying to do is, I don't want her to go to jail again. And I don't know if she has a drug or alcohol issue that we need to address. You know her better than anyone else. And the problem is if she goes to jail, who do you think she's going to call begging for her to bond out? You. And then when they put on the water show on you, it's going to be very difficult for you not to do it. And then you get to be on the hook for a bunch of money. I'm trying to prevent that. So do we have any drug or alcohol issues with Miss Hill?
Right now, she has been sober.
What's the drug of choice? Is it pills?
Or alcohol?
It was marijuana.
Or
But-
there it is. That's it.
She's been sober. She made that decision before the accident to stop. So,
Before the accident or after the accident?
no, before the accident.
We had this accident though, and the blood test gonna show something.
Yeah, especially if it's only been a couple of days since the accident.
And I don't know, but I'm putting you on notice.
Yeah,
No more. I'm gonna test you like crazy. I hope that you understand this, Ms. Hill.
I do.
Okay.
If it means anything, I do think that she has had the scared straight moment with this accident. She's on her own taking an alcohol awareness class. I did not tell her to take that. So I know that she's been proactive in her own recovery during this time.
Look how banged up you are. Look at your hand, man.
Yeah.
Look. I mean, you're lucky you didn't kill yourself.
Or anybody. For that
You were
matter.
really lucky that you're not paralyzed.
Yeah, you check
I
that
mean,
box.
I think, are you?
No.
Be careful. These small decisions you make now will impact you for the rest of your life. You've got a great lawyer. He will help you out. You must maintain contact with him. I will waive your appearance, but I'm telling you, I'm going to drug test you like crazy. Be ready, because within the next couple weeks, you will be called to take a drug test. If you don't show up, I will issue a warrant. Do you understand me, Ms. Hill? So be ready. If you don't have a prescription, and even if you do have a prescription for something, you can still abuse it, and that's what we don't want. Mom, please be careful. You've got one very short life to live. Okay, I'll have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive until you get insurance. At that point, Mo,
Thank you, Your Honor.
she doesn't have any prior DWIs, does she?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
Okay,
No priors at all.
So this is her first one then.
Ms. Hill. we want you to live a long life,
First one.
not like this.
Thank you.
Yeah. No nonsense. I'm pretty sure his court is in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that his court is in. It's definitely in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. That's where he's practicing and whatnot. But hey, man, I freaking I love watching judge videos and whatnot. Even I just find them interesting and whatnot. They're interesting and even give you a clue in on some life lessons and whatever and whatnot. Freaking just like educational type stuff and whatnot. But hey, man, I hope you guys like the video and the reaction and whatnot. And well, I don't think I'm gonna end it. I think we should let's see, maybe look for another one, probably with the same judge, if it exists. Judge Filter, Fletcher or Filter. I don't know how do you pronounce it. That's an hour long. Let's see here. What about this? Check this out. Let's check this out.
Good morning, Ms. Dennis. Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On September 12th, 2024, officers observed a vehicle blocking a moving lane of traffic at the 13600 block of Katy Freeway North Service Road in Harris County, Texas. The vehicle was turned off, had no lights, and was in the rightmost lane and was at a high risk of being hit by other drivers due to it being nighttime with no street lights in the area. Officers observed the vehicle had no front driver's side tire, and the wheel itself was ground down from driving on the road with no tire. The defendant was in the driver's seat and was the only occupant of the vehicle. The key fob was in the center console. The defendant was crying and saying how she was sorry and saying she is drunk. The defendant said she was driving from a bar and was on her way home. The defendant did not know the name of the bar, and the defendant said she did not know what happened to the tire. Officers observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, glossy bloodshot eyes, very poor balance, and the defendant continued to grab onto the officer's arms for balance. The defendant continuously cried, saying that she was sorry, that she was extremely drunk, wants to go home, and that her mother is on the way to get her. As standard field sobriety tests were administered, HGN 6 out of 6, the defendant had extreme difficulty following instructions for keeping her neck still during the HGN. Walk and turn was 7 out of 8, and one leg stand was 4 out of 4. On the way to JPC, the defendant urinated inside the patrol vehicle and outside the patrol vehicle once she exited the vehicle.
Damn.
The defendant refused to provide a sample. A blood search warrant was obtained and executed.
Ms. Dennis, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a Texas driver license, ma'am?
Yes,
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
yes, I do.
I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes.
Can you look, guys, see any prior DWIs, any other criminal history? That's anything concerning? No? Okay. How old are you, Miss Dennis? What do you do for a living?
I'm a hostess.
Where at?
Grillia.
Okay. Are you in school or just, did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, man?
Did I
You want to apply for one or are you going to go hire a lawyer?
probably go hire one?
Okay. Do it quick. Don't wait because there's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI. So don't sit there and wait a month or 2 months because you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
For now, I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, you'll get with Rachel for your bond conditions and then you're free to go. You will be randomly tested. Don't consume alcohol. Don't use any dope. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of time with me. Do you understand that? Okay. Good luck.
All right, Judge, next is page 10. Drew, come on up. Go ahead and sign for yourself.
Is it Jared?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Drew, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause.
Yeah, I think he does a lot of DWIs. I think it's like one of the most. Well, I mean, it is Houston. I mean,
You have the right to remain, or you have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On September 10th, 2024 in Harris County, Texas,
hold on, guys. Give me one moment. Sorry about that, guys. I just needed to fix something really quick.
officer was dispatched to a scene where the witness stated she was driving northbound on the 2500 block of Scott Street when she observed a tan pickup truck stopped at the roadway in lane number 2. The witness stated that when she pulled up on the side of the vehicle, she observed the vehicle running
Okay, my bad.
with the driver asleep behind the wheel. The witness stated she attempted to wake him up first by knocking on the window, that the defendant did not wake up, so she opened the door and poked him with a water bottle in an effort to wake him up, but stated he remained asleep. Witness stated she then called the fire department once she saw that he wasn't waking up. After Houston Fire Department completed their medical assessment of the defendant, the officer began his investigation. While speaking with the defendant, the officer immediately detected a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage emanating from his person. And during the inventory search of the vehicle, the officer discovered a small baggie of what appeared to be powdered cocaine on the passenger seat. Further search revealed 2 additional small baggies of powdered cocaine on the driver's side floorboard. Officer then conducted the standard field sobriety test. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 2 out of 8, and a 1-leg stand score of 4 out of 4. The defendant was detained and was read the DIC. The defendant consented to a breath sample and blew 0.91 and 0.94. The powder cocaine.
09. He'd be dead,
Yeah.
right? 0.09?
It says 0.94, but I believe it was a typo. So yes, 0.09.
Yeah, it's gotta be 0.09.
Yes.
Otherwise he'd be dead.
Yeah, that's
Powder
really
cocaine
high.
weighed
Holy crap.
approximately 0.64 grams. The described 3 small baggies contained 0.08 grams, each totaling 0.24 grams.
Cocaine.
Okay. Do you mind checking to see if he has any prior DWIs? Mr. Drew?
Right, Your Honor.
Mr. Drew, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system.
Right now.
I'm going to have you come back and then we'll talk about your lawyer situation. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using cocaine, I'm going to put you in the jail and I'm going to put you in a rehab facility. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes, sir.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
Can you also run his license, please?
Yes, sir. There's no prior DWIs.
Got it. Okay, so I'm sending you now for a drug test. You must come back and then we'll get you with the rest of your bond conditions, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have you sign a reset and then we'll send you down.
Who's next? We have coming here.
William Michael Thompson. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing 6 months in jail. Sorry, is it Class A? You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're
year
going to
in
do
jail.
probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On September 12, 2024, officer was traveling westbound on the South Sam Houston Parkway, a public roadway in Harris County, Texas, when the officer observed a stopped car in the third moving lane of traffic with its lights off. The officer found the driver to be asleep in the driver's seat and made contact with the driver, waking him up with his flashlight. The officer observed him to be confused, unable to unlock his door, and upon opening the door, the officer observed glassy eyes, slurred speech, and the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the defendant's person. The defendant admitted to coming from a party where he had been drinking. The officer detained the defendant and relocated the scene to a nearby parking lot for scene safety. The defendant consented to standard field sobriety test, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 8 out of 8, 1-leg stand 3 out of 4. Defendant was read the DIC and consented to breath. The defendant blew a 0.167 and a 0.168. Defendant found to be on bond for DWI out of Fort Bend County from 2024.
Oh, he was
He's
already
on bond right now for another DWI.
Yes, Your
That's
Oh,
Honor.
hell no.
Hell no. Yep.
Lee Running, Your Honor, it looks like it may have been disposed. I'll check.
Please.
Disposed. Uh, I don't think it'd be disposed.
There's no disposition known in the NCSC, so I don't know. It's just open. I can see if I can find
Is
out.
your DWI currently open in Montgomery County
Or Fort Bend County.
or Fort Bend County?
Fort Bend County.
They gave you a PR bond in this case. I'm taking away your PR bond, sir. I'm taking you into custody now. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm taking away your privilege to drive and I'm giving you a curfew so you're not out in the middle of the night, and I'm going to put an ankle monitor on you. If I find that you're out in the middle of the night or you consume alcohol, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you either get in a car and drive or consume alcohol. I will have a hearing. If they prove it to me, I will slap you with 180 days. And if you continue to consume alcohol, I will put you in a rehab facility. If I find that you drive a car, then I'll put you in jail for up to 6 months. Every time You drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't send him down, please, because I'm going to need him to sign a whole host of conditions.
Your condition right now says no driving. I'd like to address that, but on the amount of bond, if you would consider he makes $300 a week, he works for his dad. They do driving things. They
No, you don't. Not in-
well, he's a courier. He wasn't a courier this night in question. Okay, so
Courier.
So,
then.
Go ahead.
So you have that tool, it sounds like, no driving. He lives with his grandmother, he has some bills, and he makes about $1,200 a month. Right now, he's spent what he has, and he has to reach out to other family members for any kind of assistance. So he has a good family, they certainly want to help, but they don't have a lot of means either. And he's going to have to deal with Fort Bend now in a way that he's probably going to hopefully get a straight probation out there and work something out here in some form or fashion at some expedition point. I mean, there's some issues in this case, but
Mr. Thompson, I want you to understand that when I have someone that comes into my court with multiple DWIs, I usually set bonds somewhere in the neighborhood of around $15,000 to $20,000, if not higher. That's what I normally do. When someone has 2 open DWIs, I always take their privilege to drive away from me. Why would we put and endanger the streets of Harris County when you have repeatedly shown that you failed to care about any bond conditions?
Right.
You've repeatedly shown that. So I'm sorry, Troy. I'm not going to let him drive. He's got 2 open DWIs. Not only that, but I don't want him out in the middle of the night. I'm going to give you a curfew. And I'm going to, on one ankle, I'm going to put a Scram ankle monitor so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. On your other ankle, you're going to get a GPS monitor so I know that you're not out in the middle of the night. And I'm going to tell you now, if I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully now we will get your attention. And to me, if you think that you're going to garner any sympathy because you live with grandma or they make $300 a day, nope. Luckily, no one was really injured, because then you would really be up Shisa Creek. And then you'd really be in custody with bonds in the quadruple to quintuple digits. Do you understand? I can't, because $500 is something that we give to someone on usually a first offense. I have another guy here with another DWI, a $500 bond.
$500
Someone who has 3 open cases, 2 of them being very dangerous cases. I can't possibly do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, quite frankly, you're lucky that it's now only at $5,000, because ask me. I always set it at $15,000 to $20,000 on a second DWI.
And higher. It
So-
goes up.
If you now get a taste of jail, perhaps that's what it needs. I will say this, Troy, that I will waive the fee on all of his devices that he's going to have, because that'll save him a pretty penny right there. I'm waiving all your fees, which right now, garnering everything that I have on you now, is probably going to be around, $1,200 to $1,500 a month in fees that I'm waiving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the thing that some people don't realize is that the monitors and whatnot, you have to buy that shit. And if it breaks, you have to replace it, get batteries for it, whatever, to maintain its condition and whatnot. Yeah, the state doesn't doesn't issue it for free. You have to buy that shit, man. You have to buy that shit. Which is like even more reason to to not, fuck up so bad. I mean, if I think if people were told this information, like maybe in high school, you think they might be a little none the wiser.
And because so, I will not entertain any excuses from you. Do you understand? All right. Good luck.
Yeah, man, there you have it. Like, yeah, just like I said, he's a no nonsense type of guy. Don't push his buttons or
Good morning.
garner any kind of any type of sympathy from him and whatnot. It's calls it out like it is, shoot her straight and whatnot. But yeah. Anyways, okay, now I'm definitely gonna end the stream right there. I'll probably stream something else later on if you guys want to watch. Yeah, I'll probably be on a little bit later, but right now I'm hungry and it's around dinner time, so yeah, we'll be back later on. All right, until then, take it easy.